Our world is changing and accelerating at an unprecedented pace. Let's look at some numbers that illustrate this. In the 19th century, oil tycoon John D. Rockefeller took 46 years to earn his first $1 billion. In the 1980s, computer mogul Michael Dell needed only 14 years to join the Billionaire Club. Bill Gates did it even faster, in just 12 years. By the 1990s, Yahoo's Jerry Yang and his partners earned $1 billion in merely 4 years. eBay's founder shortened this record to 3 years. After 2000, Groupon's founder further compressed this timeline to just 2 years. You might say inflation played a role here. But one thing is certain. Technological and communications advances have dramatically shortened the time it takes to create wealth. In the internet age, young entrepreneurs with good ideas can create wealth by diligently implementing their visions through technology. And this wealth can easily surpass what their predecessors achieved. How can one accelerate success in this rapidly changing world? Science writer Malcolm Gladwell, who wrote the foreword to this book, identifies 3 key conditions for young people to achieve rapid success today. First, you need real capability. This means both talent and effort. Second, you need good timing, and right now happens to be an exceptionally favorable environment. Third, you must know how to utilize the fast-track channels that the modern world provides. This book, Smartcuts, reveals these pathways to rapid success and the methods you can use to achieve your goals. Let's start with an illustrative example. Imagine you're driving in a storm and encounter 3 people waiting for a ride. An elderly woman who appears quite frail, a friend who once saved your life, and the person of your dreams. This could be your perfect moment to make an impression. However, your car only has 1 passenger seat. Who would you choose to give a ride to? You could make a compelling case for any of them. The elderly woman needs help, your friend deserves your gratitude, and meeting your dream person could determine your lifetime happiness. So, who gets the ride? The author offers this elegant solution. Give the ride to the elderly woman, hand your car keys to your friend to drive her, and stay behind with your dream person to wait for the next bus. Perfect, isn't it? You've helped both the person in need and repaid your friend while creating an opportunity to spend time with your dream person. This dilemma exercises your thinking style. To find the optimal solution to such challenges, you need to shift your perspective and break from conventional thinking patterns. History's most successful people excelled at using lateral thinking to seize fleeting opportunities and achieve success in their fields. The book's author, Shane Snow, an American journalist, calls this problem-solving approach lateral progression. His reporting on this topic for Fast Company and Wired magazines generated significant interest. He later joined several groups of tech entrepreneurs he had written about, who playfully called themselves the Under 30 Success Club. These young innovators turned down PhD offers and high-paying corporate jobs, living on ramen noodles while pursuing projects they believed would change the world. Spending time with these young entrepreneurs proved infectious. Snow eventually became an entrepreneur himself, co-founding a content trading platform and earning recognition from Forbes as one of their 30 under 30 innovators. In this book, he examines case studies to uncover paths to accelerated success in our rapidly evolving world, distilling them into 9 key strategies. Let's explore the first strategy, the ladder switch. Snow discovered something intriguing about American politics. U.S. presidents tend to be younger than members of Congress. The average age of presidents when taking office is 55, while the average age of Congress members is 62. Though serving in Congress is often seen as a stepping stone to the presidency, why are presidents typically younger? Looking at presidential history, only 3 out of all U.S. presidents followed the traditional path through all 4 levels of federal elected office. More than half never served in Congress at all. This reveals a pattern. Many succeeded through what Snow calls the ladder switch. Those who climbed the traditional political ladder step by step often struggled to reach the presidency. However, those who achieved extraordinary success in other fields before running for president often had higher success rates. Consider some of the most successful presidents in their previous careers. Abraham Lincoln was a party founder, George Washington was a general, Theodore Roosevelt was a police commissioner, Harry Truman was a judge, John F. Kennedy was a war hero and author, Thomas Jefferson was a lawyer, Dwight Eisenhower was a general, Woodrow Wilson was a university president, and Ronald Reagan was an actor. They all proved their leadership capabilities in different fields before entering politics, making their presidential ambitions more credible. This strategy of switching ladders is similar to a famous game played at Brigham Young University called Bigger and Better, which illustrates the power of progressive exchanges. The bigger and better game, similar to trading apps like Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace today, starts with students dividing into teams. Each team begins with something small, like a paperclip, and goes door to door trying to trade up for something bigger or better. While many people might refuse to trade with students showing up late at night, some good-natured neighbors participate. The game progresses as teams trade their items. A paperclip becomes a pen, then a notepad, then a magazine. The magazine might be traded for flowers, which could become a hat, then a t-shirt. When teams return to campus and display their final trades, the results are remarkable. Some teams come back with stereo systems, others with golf clubs, some with televisions, and a few even manage to acquire kayaks. Imagine if these students had directly asked someone to trade a paperclip for a television. They'd likely be laughed away. The author explains that while few people will make such a drastic trade, small incremental upgrades are achievable. Researchers call this the small win psychology. Each small victory builds momentum, leading to another small win, eventually accumulating into major achievements. This ladder switching approach accelerates company growth too. A genome report on tech companies revealed that startups that pivoted once or twice increased their funding by 2.5 times and their user growth by 3.6 times. Companies that could switch business models or products during growth phases typically outperformed those that stayed rigid in their approach. Therefore, while we're accustomed to climbing one ladder step by step, in today's fast-changing world, it's better to think like a ladder switcher and act like an entrepreneur, accelerating growth through strategic transitions. The second strategy for accelerated success is finding a great mentor. As the saying goes, a mentor opens the door, but you must walk through it yourself. Consider these powerful mentorship examples from history. Socrates mentored Plato, who mentored Aristotle, who in turn mentored Alexander the Great, who became one of history's greatest conquerors. Take Magnus Carlsen, the chess prodigy who met Grandmaster Garry Kasparov while playing in New York's Washington Square Park. Under Kasparov's guidance, young Carlsen went on to break numerous world records and became the youngest world chess champion. Of course, raw talent is essential. Even the best mentor can't help without it. Steve Jobs, despite his visionary leadership at Apple, sought mentorship from Bill Campbell, a former football coach turned Silicon Valley executive coach. Jobs chose Campbell to learn how to maintain mental clarity and sharpness in decision-making. While you could spend years learning through trial and error, having a world-class practitioner guide you can dramatically accelerate your learning curve. Research shows that entrepreneurs with mentors raise 7 times more capital and grow 3.5 times faster than those without mentors. However, the mentorship must be authentic, not forced. You need genuine drive to learn, and the mentor must truly want to teach. This creates a relationship that propels your progress forward. The third strategy is leveraging platforms. Your development depends on choosing the right platform. Different platforms lead to different outcomes. Richard Feynman, the renowned American physicist, once compared education to teaching someone to drive. He said American schools were teaching students to drive on rough terrain when they should be teaching them to cruise on highways. For instance, Sarah, a software engineer, noticed that computer science departments were dominated by male students because many boys learned programming through gaming at ages 10 to 14. To make programming more accessible to girls, she developed a tablet game called Daisy's Code Adventure, similar to Angry Birds but incorporating coding concepts. Through this gamified approach, girls could learn programming basics while having fun. This exemplifies how platforms, whether tools, technologies, or environments, can accelerate learning and success. Think about why actors flock to Los Angeles, fashion bloggers to New York, or why Harvard Law graduates find jobs more easily. It's about the platform. While Harvard Law School might be harder to get into, that degree provides leverage. It's a platform that opens doors. Consider how streaming platforms like YouTube have created new pathways to success. Many content creators achieved fame and fortune faster through YouTube than through traditional entertainment industry routes. The platform provided tools, audience access, and monetization opportunities that weren't available through conventional channels. This demonstrates that platforms can be physical locations, Silicon Valley for tech, institutions, Ivy League schools, technologies, social media, or ecosystems, startup incubators. The key is choosing platforms that align with your goals and provide the most leverage for your particular ambitions. The fourth strategy is catching the wave. When people say you're lucky, they often mean you were in the right place at the right time. But identifying and catching these waves requires skill and strategy. Snow describes two approaches to catching waves. One is paddling exhaustively until you're worn out, like frantically swimming to catch up with waves. The other is learning to read wave patterns, positioning yourself strategically, and gliding effortlessly to the best spot. Like surfing, it requires experience to spot emerging trends. For those who can't yet read the waves, Snow suggests a practical approach. Watch industry leaders and become a fast follower. Many successful large companies were initially followers. General Motors was a fast follower that overtook Ford, the pioneer of the automotive industry. Google surpassed Overture in search, and LinkedIn outperformed Friendster in professional networking. A study by the University of Southern California examined 500 brands across 50 product categories, including toothpaste, VCRs, fax machines, and chewing gum. They found that only slightly more than half of the companies that pioneered products maintained market leadership after 5 years, and only 11% maintained long-term market leadership. In contrast, fast followers who entered new product markets had only an 8% failure rate. First movers must clear the path, while followers can learn from their mistakes. The fifth strategy is finding super connectors. Imagine attending a party where you don't know anyone, but you have one friend who knows everyone. This friend introduces you around, and suddenly you've met dozens of people effortlessly. That's a super connector at work. Consider J.J. Abrams' success story in Hollywood. After writing 9 unsuccessful screenplays, he collaborated with Gil Mazersky, whose father was a well-connected film director. This connection got his script in front of the right people, leading to his first film. Abrams went on to direct hit TV shows like Alias and Lost, and blockbuster movies including Mission Impossible 3, and Star Trek. He eventually became so successful that he was chosen to direct Star Wars: The Force Awakens. The interesting part is that once Abrams achieved success, he became a super connector himself, helping talented but unknown writers, directors, and actors climb the industry ladder faster. Let's look at another example of leveraging super connectors. Author Jack Canfield, when launching his book, Chicken Soup for the Pet Lover's Soul, partnered with a national pet supply retailer. They offered half-price book coupons to customers who purchased 50-pound bags of dog food. These coupons reached pet owners across America, resulting in 500,000 book sales, Canfield's fastest book launch ever. The pet supply chain became his super connector. The sixth strategy is creating momentum. Consider this classic case from Super Bowl 47 in 2013. During the game between the Baltimore Ravens and San Francisco 49ers, with the Ravens leading 28-6, the stadium suddenly went dark. While everyone waited in darkness for 34 minutes, Oreo seized the moment with a brilliant tweet. An image of an Oreo cookie illuminating a dark room with the caption, "You can still dunk in the dark." During those idle moments, 15,000 fans retweeted or shared Oreo's image, and 20,000 more liked it on social media. This seemingly spontaneous post appeared tailor-made for the blackout moment. The iconic sandwich cookie, born in 1912, had perfectly captured the zeitgeist, and this ad later won numerous advertising awards, outperforming many expensive TV commercials. What's remarkable is that Oreo had been posting similar dunk-in-the-dark themed content for 6 months prior, with little engagement. For a Fortune 500 company, posting a tweet isn't as simple as typing 140 characters. It requires approval from social media managers and various executives. Yet Oreo had streamlined their approval process to complete within minutes, allowing them to capitalize on the Super Bowl blackout before power was restored. The blackout created momentum, and seizing momentum means seizing opportunity. This requires constant preparation and readiness to act when the moment arrives. Success often strikes like lightning, appearing when least expected, and your job is to maintain that momentum once it hits. The seventh strategy is mastering simplification. This is powerfully illustrated by the story of a medical innovation that transformed newborn care in developing nations. The seventh strategy centers on a remarkable story of Jane Chun, who joined a nonprofit organization helping with newborn care in developing nations. In America, premature babies weighing just 1,000 grams could be treated in hospital incubators until fully recovered. However, in countries like India and Pakistan, most premature infants couldn't access such care. Millions didn't survive their first year. A traditional incubator cost $20,000 to $40,000, not including maintenance. Chian and her 3 colleagues tackled this challenge. These countries needed incubators, but not at that price point. Could they create a cheaper alternative that mothers could easily use? They discovered the key requirements were maintaining warmth while monitoring vital signs like heart rate and breathing. This didn't need to cost $20,000. Their solution? The Embrace Infant Warmer, a sophisticated thermal sleeping bag with 2 compartments, one for the baby and one for a heating pad. The pad, after charging for 30 minutes, maintained constant temperature for 4 to 6 hours. Even mothers with minimal education could use it. The most revolutionary aspect? It cost just $25 to produce. This exemplifies how bigger isn't always better. Many products have features that go unused 80% of the time. Chin's team succeeded through simplification, often the key to moving from good to great. Disruptive innovations typically succeed by saving either time or money through simplification. Consider other examples. Email isn't just cheaper than postal mail, it's simpler. USB drives aren't just cheaper than CDs, they're more portable. Cloud storage isn't just easier than flash drives, it eliminates physical storage entirely. The world's most successful people often focus intensely on just a few areas, maintaining that focus for decades. The more you divide your attention, the harder it becomes to achieve excellence. To soar high and build something significant, you must eliminate the unnecessary and embrace simplicity. The 8th and 9th strategies complete our guide to accelerated success. The 8th strategy is rapid feedback. Think of how Instagram developed its platform. Instead of spending years perfecting a product before launch, they released early versions and quickly adapted based on user feedback. They discovered that while their original app, Bourbon, had too many features, users loved the photo sharing aspect. This rapid feedback led them to pivot and focus solely on photo sharing, ultimately leading to their billion-dollar success. The key is to find your error margins quickly. All great successes are built on a foundation of failures and adjustments. Companies like Amazon and Netflix thrive on rapid feedback systems, constantly testing new features and adapting based on user response. The faster you can learn from mistakes, the quicker you can adjust your course toward success. The 9th strategy is 10x thinking. Elon Musk exemplifies this approach. Instead of trying to make incrementally better electric cars, he aimed to revolutionize the entire automotive and energy industries. This massive thinking attracted major investors, top talent, and significant resources. When you think bigger, you attract bigger opportunities. The book, Smartcuts, summarizes these 9 strategies for accelerated success in our rapidly changing world. 1. The ladder switch. Don't just climb one ladder. Switch between opportunities strategically. 2. Find a great mentor. Learn from those who've already succeeded. 3. Leverage platforms. Use existing systems to amplify your success. 4. Catch the wave. Identify and ride emerging trends. 5. Connect with super connectors. Build relationships with influential networks. 6. Create momentum. Prepare for and seize unexpected opportunities. 7. Master simplification. Remove complexity to achieve greater impact. 8. Use rapid feedback. Learn quickly from mistakes and adjust. 9. Think 10x. Think bigger to attract bigger opportunities. These strategies aren't just theoretical, they're practical tools for navigating today's fast-paced world. By understanding and applying these principles, you can accelerate your path to success, whether you're an entrepreneur, professional, or anyone seeking to make a significant impact in your chosen field.